Okay, so now we're going to show you how to connect the system to the PACS system so you can send images and also pull up the work list. And that's how you're going to pull your patient information, so it'll give you the name, the birth date, the accession number, the ID, and you're able to actually send the images to PACS without any problems on the back end. So first you're going to plug in your Ethernet cable to the port right here on the right. It looks like a little hospital. You're going to plug that guy in right there. And then you find your ports on the wall in your OR. In this room, we noticed that it was just this port, the one on the left, was the one that gives us access to PACS. It may vary from room to room, but in this room, these are the ones that work on the walls. So we're going to plug into right there. And you'll know you have connection to your PACS system, or that you're hardwired to your PACS system, because your PACS icon will be lit up green right here on your machine. Now, if you want to know that you're hooked up and able to send stuff, you can go to your DICOM viewer. You could just pick any random exam and go to export. And if that's your PACS destination, and if you have a green check, that means you're set to send all your stuff to DICOM, which is your PACS. Okay, so now if we want to pull up patient information and go back to the home, so we're gonna be in scan mode. This is telling you that it needs to be plugged in, so we're doing that. It's already plugged in. So if you're we're gonna go to new scan. Now, if you're gonna pull up your patient off of the work list that's populated from the actual PACS, you'd go into hospital, and then you would hit this guy right here, and this will populate your work list. We're not gonna pull it up because this has actual patient information, so we're not gonna show that. But you would tap that guy, that would take you to your work list, and then you would select your patient, and it would populate the information for you automatically. If you didn't have a work order, or if it was like an emergent case, let's just go back. So we'd go to new patient. You're gonna put everything in manually. So we'll go to new patient. We're gonna type in our name. So we're just gonna put in test. And test, it's a very nice name. And then here, ID, you would put the patient's medical record ID, but it's not gonna serve any purpose as far as sending images, because in this, when you do stuff manually, you can't when you push the PACS, it's gonna go to an unverified file. The PACS system will have to then merge the images to the correct accession number. But this is just for your information to know you have the right patient. So you have the name, the ID, pick the gender, the birth date, so let's put nice 1999. We'll put 04 22. So now you have all your basic demographics. You go to your next page. This, no matter what, even if you pulled the patient info from the actual work list, you should always have to put in manually the patient's height in inches and the weight in pounds. So let's just say they're 64 inches tall and they weigh 145 pounds. You got that, you go to next. This screen is just telling you, it's a reminder to let you know that you should always be, this is the position that your gantry should be, that you're scanning away from the tower. So we're scanning away from the tower, this way. That's the arrow, that's what it's telling you right there. So once you're okay with all this, you just hit the next button. This, for adult side, you would always pick adult and adult alternate. For pediatric, be pediatric. And I believe, Cassandra, yes. If I was to pick pediatric, would there be a different setting? You know how you have adult alternate? Would there be a pediatric alternate? Or
only pediatric?
Only pediatric.
Pediatrics is 21 and younger.
Okay.
Classification.
Okay. But for adult purposes, it'd be adult alternate. And then we go to next. This is where we pick our profile, what we're going to be scanning. Usually either going to be spine or head, so we'll pick spine today. And then we have, if you're doing cervical, you hit cervical, and then you have your options down here. Usually you can do cervical at 70%, cervical at 30%, or recommended it would be cervical at 70. If you're doing T-spine, L-spine, sacrum below, you could just hit this FOLSA one. It does all of them in the same category. So same thing, we would do FOLSA at 70%. It's gonna be your helical type of scan. Then we'd hit next. This is this is your sweet spot. So once you get to this screen, you're gonna make sure everything looks good. So you would always be on sharp. For spine, you'd always have a large FOV. If you're doing head, you'd be a small FOV. But if you're doing DBS, you'd be on other. But for spine, you would stay here. Right here is whether or not you're working with navigation, with strikers. So you'd always ask them, hey, are we using navigation for this scan? If they say yes, you're gonna hit with. If no, without. Once everything's good, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and lock your screen, or actually you'd move the gantry away a little bit, give anesthesia some room to work. Because now they're gonna start running all their lines and getting their patient prepped. So you're gonna move it about right there if you're good with that. And then you come over to the menu and you're gonna lock your system and then walk away for right now. Cut.